Lil Duhon, how you like your pickup truck?
I love it, baby.
How y'all making out? I'm Jacob Dewey with Dewey Speed Shop, and we come to install a rough country 4-inch lift on this 2-wheel drive 1991 GMC Sierra. Keep in mind, y'all, this kit works for 88 to 98 old body style Chevrolet or GMC full-size pickup truck. 2-wheel drive. Well, Jacob, what comes in the box? Well, let me show you. This kit comes with rear and front shock absorbers, new U-bolts for the rear, lift blocks for the rear made of some sort of plastic material with hardware, instructions with cotter pins, and the 4-inch lift spindles. Something to keep in mind though, if you have an 88 to 91 truck, you will have to do an upgrade to 92 to 98 brake rotors and bearings for these spindles. Little tip, 92 to 98 brake rotors and bearings will need to be installed with these spindles if you have an 88 to 91 truck. I was just trying to make that clear for y'all. Luckily though, Duhon got a 91 truck and he needed new brake rotors anyway, so it's a win-win. All right, so depending on the year truck you got, you're gonna need a 21 millimeter socket, 21 millimeter wrench, 13 millimeter wrench, 13 millimeter socket with an extension to remove those shocks. A 13/16 fits on it, but it's a little tight. That 21 is perfect. You know how in the early 90s they were starting to fool around with metric a little bit. I think that's what this truck got. All right, so first thing I'm gonna do is remove this lower shock bolt on both sides. Make sure you have your like a little magnet tray or somewhere to store these bolts while you're working. Now that both of the lower shock mounts are removed, I'm gonna go ahead and bust the top bolts and pull the shock out of the way. One shock out. And y'all, of course I know not everybody got a 2-post car lift in their garage, right? But this is just me showing y'all how to do this from my perspective. It's gonna be pretty simple on the ground, right? You're just gonna have to be on your back. I honestly think I used to work faster in my driveway. Now that I got a big shop with a 2-post lift, when you finish working, you can just close the garage when you get tired. And don't come back in here for a few days. And it might fall out. So watch yourself. And if I was a better role model, I'd have a set of glasses on and some gloves, but you wear glasses and gloves. Don't take my word for it. All right, now that the shock's out of the way, I'm gonna go ahead and put this transmission jack underneath that pumpkin. And we gonna pump it up. Pump it up. Light little load. Get your 21 millimeter back. We're gonna buzz them U-joints. All right, so now that this is off from the bottom of the rear end, go ahead and set that to the side. Take your original U-bolts out of there, because you ain't gonna need that no more for this lift. Put them in your scrap pile. Pay attention here because the instructions don't have anything about doing this rear. So from what I can see, this lift block is tapered, right? You see that? It got a fat end and a small end. Small end goes to the front of the truck. Thick to the back, small to the front. Remember that. I'm going to lower down this jack, and I'm going to see if I can squeeze this in there. Block got a dowel hole and a dowel on it. Go ahead and line those up. The bottom of your leaf spring is going to have a dowel. It's going to go into this hole at the top, right? Set it down and be on your way. Remember, skinny end, front the truck. And the reason for that being tapered is, now that we're lifting it, we're messing with pinion angle. So we've got to throw that pinion back up a little bit so you don't misalign anything. All right, go ahead and install your new U-joints. Go ahead and throw this clamp back on the bottom. All right, once they're tight, we can go ahead and move on to the other side. Go ahead and drop your upper shock bolts back in there. Grab your brand new beefy Rough Country premium shock absorber. Install that nut. Alright, now grab your 21 wrench and socket. Tighten up the bottom. Alright, now your little sexy shocks are installed. Alright, now that both your shocks installed, go ahead and install your back wheels back on. Then the back is done. We're going to move up to the front next. I don't care about your stinking torque specs. All right, y'all. Finally got one of the front sides completely finished with. And before I show y'all a play-by-play on the other side, let me walk y'all through all the foolishness I had to deal with yesterday. All right, y'all. Remember how I said you're going to need 92 to 98 rotors and bearings? Well, if you have original 1-inch wide, light-duty rotors and calipers, you're going to have to swap out to 92 to 98 calipers and pads as well. This is where I was messing up yesterday. I kept going back and forth to the store because I thought maybe I kept buying the wrong rotors and pads, but I ended up having to buy a new caliper too. Because the 92 to 98 rotors are 1.25 inches wide. Whereas the stock stuff that came with this truck is only 1 inch wide. And they come with a 2.5 bore brake caliper. The updated calipers are 2 15/16 bore. I also updated to 92 to 98 brake hoses because they're about 2 inches longer. And even after that, I still had to bend this up a little bit. And I took that bracket that's originally up here. You can see the hole for it. I took that bolt out. I moved this bracket down, drilled a 9/32 hole, and ran the original bolt that was up here through it. Because it's got like a starter thread on it. So drill your 9/32 hole, move that bracket about 1.5 inches down, and relocate this, right? Now I got ample slack. I went turn the wheel, lock to lock, and nothing's binding up anymore. What I did was I put this hose in here, started this by hand, and then I just manipulated it really softly till my hole lined up. Then I put that bolt in. And there you go. Also, you got to cut that little mounting tab off of here that originally bolts it right here, because you ain't never going to be able to reuse that. So I just cut it off flush, left the little metal thing for rubbing protection. But yeah, y'all, finally done. Man, this thing, the instructions aren't clear at all from rough country. So y'all, take my word for this. If you have an 88 to 91 truck, before you do anything, measure your brake rotor. If it's 1 inch wide, you're going to have to convert to 92 to 98 everything. But if your 88 to 91 truck has the heavy duty brakes, you'll be fine. But just make sure, if your brake rotors are 1 inch, you're going to need to update everything. If they're 1.25 inches wide, you'll be able to reuse it with this lift kit. Let me give y'all a play-by-play on the other side. Stay tuned. Also, look at the difference. Finished, not finished. That's a nice little lift kit right there. Also, if you still running 15-inch rims, you might have to grind the caliper ever so slightly to get it to clear. All right, so this is a lift kit installation, so I feel like I don't have to really tell y'all how to do a brake job. But the calipers are already off of there because I had to go return them for a core charge. Because of what I told you earlier, I had to upgrade to 92 to 98 calipers as well. So that's why that's off of there. I'm going to go ahead and take this rotor off of there and set it to the side. I won't be needing it no more. It's scrap. And then we're going to start the process on swapping out this spindle. Stay tuned. All right, so with the brake rotor removed, I'm going to take this dust shield off. You're going to need a 13mm socket for that. You're going to set that to the side, but depending on the rotor you bought, you might need to remove this little dust cover. Keep that in mind. I had to remove it on the other side. All right, first we're going to remove the tie rod. Get yourself an 18mm socket or wrench and bust it. And there you go. She popped out. All right, next, go ahead and pull your cotter pins out with your favorite pair of pliers, cutting dikes, whatever you want to use. I honestly like cutting dikes for pulling out cotter pins because it kind of bites into it and you can yank. Cotter pins removed. All right, now you're going to go ahead and take your 1/16 wrench and loosen up them ball joint nuts. Just run them off a few treads, right? All right. We caress the molecules again. And the only reason I'm able to do it like this is because I still got that lower shock in there. If you didn't have the shock, this shit would go flying all over the place. So keep that in mind. Keep the shock in when you're doing this. And that's it. That's how that comes out of there. Now's a good time to check your ball joints as well and your tie rod ends. all his stuff feels tight, so I'm gonna reuse them and just give him a new couple fresh pumps of grease in there. All right, you're gonna need your 7/16 wrench and socket to take that bracket off that control arm. And y'all, I'm suffering for y'all right now because I could have some fans blowing on me, but you wouldn't be able to hear what I'm talking about. All right, you want to go ahead and pull this little clip out, undo that line right there, which is a 9/16, and pull this hose out the way. Before you go any further, you're going to want to grind the backside of them rivets off and knock that factory steering stop off of the control arm. Like so. Take your new spindle, put it on the bottom, lift your top control arm a little bit, get it down, grab your nut. Go ahead, tighten them down and put your new cotter pins that come with the kit in there. I'm gonna be back. All right, once your nuts are tight on the ball joints, go ahead and put your tie rod back on. All right, go ahead and install your dust shield back on there. With the 3 bolts you took out the old spindle. All right, y'all, so I got the rotors, the calipers, the pads, the new hose on there, and I cut that little tab off of there. So I took that bracket off that holds that brake line way up here. But on the passenger side, I'm gonna have to go bend it a little bit. So that way I can bolt it to the side right here. Let me go make that bend right quick and I'm gonna show you what I did there. All right, I went ahead and put it in my vise right there, took a pair of channel locks and bent it to where this is vertical now. Now I can mount it on my frame. Drill 1 hole and I'm gonna be finished with it. All right, before you mount it, go ahead and put your hose and your hard line together just for ease, right? Everything's floating at this point. Then you can secure it to the frame. The hard line got a lot of free slack to play with, so you can kind of bend it a little bit where you gotta go. Just be careful with it. Don't bend it too much. That's it, y'all. Go ahead and finish tightening your fitting. Brake line is mounted with a lot of slack. All right, y'all, last step of the install, I gotta go ahead and throw the new shocks in the front. And we all know how to install shocks, so I'm not even gonna bore y'all with that. So let me get this installed. And I thought I wasn't gonna have to do an alignment on this thing, but front wheels are like this. So I'm gonna have to come do a little string alignment for them. Stay tuned. All right, y'all, so this is how the alignment looks after install. Steering wheel centered right now. I know it'll get a little better once I put it on the ground, but that's still way too far off. So I'm gonna have to put it on the ground and do a little string alignment or something. First, let me bleed these brakes. Oh yeah, she definitely needs alignment, y'all. She does sit nice and high now, though. It does look like it gave it a little push out on that wheel right there, too. That's the back. All right, y'all, let me come fool around with this alignment right quick. Hopefully that goes pretty easy, so I'm gonna holler at y'all. All right, y'all, looks like I gotta go run to O'Reilly's right quick and get some new tie rods, because I tried to adjust this thing, do a little string alignment, and I can't get these things to budge. Probably better if I change them anyway. The boots are torn, so let me go get some new ones right quick. Let's head over there. I like driving this truck because it got air conditioning in there. All right, got the new tie rods installed. Gonna come perform a nice little string alignment right quick, but drop a comment what y'all think about the stance. I mean, I know I'm most certainly not the first person to put a 4-inch lift on a 88 to 98, but it look all right. What is the flexion, yeah? So Duhon, how you like your pickup truck?
I love it, baby.
She running good? Give her a little test. A little barefoot test. Yes, yes, indeed. What you think about it, Dax? Yes, it. And that's it. Duhon got his pickup truck back. He's smiling like a little baby Bobby Boucher.
Look, this is the last test right here.
This is the last test. And then he runs in the back of my old lady Suburban.
Hey, the dude was supposed to change the brakes. I don't know, man. Kind of squishy.
Hey, that's a you issue, not a me issue, boy. All right, later. And there you go. Taking his pride and joy out of you. And that's it. Sayonara. Get out of my way.